a very good start.
That'll do, won't it? That'll do.
I'll get you this out.
Thank you. So how did you get into pool first of all then? What made you?
Well, I started playing pool when I was sort of 7 years old. Me mum and dad owned a pub. And it was sort of a misspent youth really, working, mum and dad were working in the pub, I was sort of playing on the table whenever I could.
Did you reach a table alright when you were that size?
Well, it's funny you say that actually because I used to have like a crate that I used to stand on.
The old crate
Not a very good start.
No, I can't give you a chance.
Trying to give me a chance.
At least I've got 2 shots.
Yeah, okay. I used to have a little box that I used to stand on because I literally couldn't see it on the table. And I used to cue it with my arm to the side. And it's quite funny because I used to cue it to the side, and then once I got tall enough to be able to cue properly, I still sort of was stuck with my arm out to the side. So it took me a while to have to bring my arm back in to play properly once I was tall enough.
Do you ever revert back to that now?
No, unfortunately not, no.
So when did you realise that you were pretty good? How old were you then?
I think I was sort of around 9 or 10 when my dad sort of took me to a competition, the first ever. I thought this was supposed to be about me.
Sorry.
But
my note's going to run out in a minute.
Yeah, okay. I hope so, because it's not going to look good for me, is it? But I was sort of 9 or 10. My dad took me to a junior competition. There you go. Okay. He took me to a junior competition, and I won the first event that I played in.
Really?
So he sort of knew from then on that I sort of had a bit of a talent at it. Obviously, I wasn't allowed to be in the pub the whole time, so what I used to have to do was they put me a table upstairs in the bedroom.
Really?
When I used to have to go upstairs, they used to let me, I used to be able to play in the bedroom.
So I guess that then moved on to you winning your first World Championships. How old were you when you did that?
Yeah, well, I went through the juniors from there. I qualified in the England team, and then I won my first world title, which was a junior world title, when I was 16, which was in the year 2000. And then I was lucky enough to get a good sponsorship deal, which allowed me not to have to go to work and to concentrate on practicing really.
So that was a junior.
That was the junior world championships in 2000. I won that.
Yeah.
And then I turned professional the same year. I was the youngest ever professional at 16.
So you literally turned
So
pro at 16.
16.
That's what people would dream of. What a great career.
Yeah, I've been quite fortunate.
And that was literally from 16. You've not had to go and get a proper job.
No, I've not had to get a proper job.
Wow.
I've just been allowed to play this for a bit. Although if you keep beating me, I might have to get one.
No, I don't think it's going to happen. If I can double that, it'll be a miracle. So when did you win your first, senior world title?
Yeah, the first senior world title was 2005, which was the first major, the senior one, which now it's winning the
So
junior.
how old are you then?
I'm now 28.
Right.
So like 7 years ago.
Yeah.
And
21.
21, yeah. I think I was the youngest person to win.
Yeah.
The world title at 21 as well. So
we're in trouble now, I can tell.
Well, yeah. I might have to pot a few now because it doesn't look too good.
So how do you maintain your concentration? Because it's pressure, isn't it? You can feel the pressure. I'm just sat in the audience.
Yeah.
How do you?
And it is something which does separate, I think, the elite players from the good players, because dealing with the pressure, there's a lot of good players out there, but dealing with the pressure when you're playing on Sky for a lot of money, big audiences, that's what really separates the men from the boys really. And I think it's something which you're either born with or you're not, because like you say, people get nervous just sitting out there watching people play, so I can relate to how people do struggle with the pressure, because it affects us all at some point, and it's just who handles it the best, I think.
So how do you do it though? What do you do?
I just try and stay as calm as possible, and you obviously have to forget about what you're actually about to do. In a world final, you're 10-8 up, and you think, well, when this next final, you become the world champion. When you start seeing the finishing line, worrying about what's going to happen, thinking about the money, thinking about what you're going to say in the interview afterwards, everything just has to be blanked out and just get on with it, like I'm practicing.
Just eat each shot as it comes.
Just each shot as it comes, yeah. Losing,
yeah.
He can make you angry.
He can make you, yeah.
He can make you angry.
that, particularly in tennis. You can see somebody gets they're winning,
Yeah.
then something puts them off, they get rattled, there's a bad call,
Yeah.
and that can happen in the tennis world, can't it?
Yeah, it can, and like I say, your mentality, if you're winning, the phone goes off, a bad refereeing decision, it can all add to it, but we're all professionals and it's a part of dealing with the sport, and dealing with the pressure is a massive part of it, because like I say, there's a lot of good players out there.
See, we were talking earlier on about racking up,
Yeah.
and I've seen it before, you've been playing and the referee's been struggling to rack the balls properly.
Yeah.
I mean, what, are you allowed to interact with them and say, look, can you re-rack them and that?
Yeah, completely. Well, racking the balls up is a massive part of the match, especially when two top players are playing, because you just related to tennis there, and the break of pull can also be like the serve at tennis, because you are expected to clear off your own break, like you're expected to hold serve at tennis. So if the referee's racking the balls up wrong and you can't break the balls, you're at a disadvantage, because in effect you're supposed to break and clear when it's your break.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're allowed to interact, you're allowed to say, look, that ball's not touching. And if he says, okay, he racks them up again. I've had times in matches on TV where it's took the referee 5 times to rack the balls up, but at the end of the day, we're playing for a lot of prestige and a lot of money, and the referee needs
just
to
keep going.
The referee needs to do, get it right.
Back in again.
Oh no.
So I've got to make the most now, I think you're going to do me otherwise.
Yeah.
I've got to either concentrate on this now or ask you another question.
Yeah. Well, I think you should maybe concentrate on this.
I'd rather try and win, really.
Yeah.
So I'll concentrate on this.
You're only 3 balls away. It's a little bit heavy.
It's too much on
I
that.
think you missed out some of the questions.
Yeah, it was the excitement, I think, that really got to me. So do you find that when you're playing, I mean, you said you try not to visualise. I mean, there's a lot of people say, I visualise winning. I visualise the goal. Does the goal sometimes come into your mind during the game?
It does, and just on such a small scale. It's a prime example of what's just happened there, because you're literally, if you land on that ball, you're probably going to win, and you know that subconsciously. You think, I'm going to pot this, and you've hit that probably 2 feet too hard, and that happens, through everything. You see so many matches that score 6 each first to 7, 7 each first to 8, and people do get a rush of blood thinking about the winning line, thinking, well, when I pot this ball, I've only got to do this, and all of a sudden, all things can go wrong. Similar to what's just happened.
You just got to breathe, I guess.
You've just got to,
start again.
A lot of the, other players, top professionals have, sports psychologists to overcome.
I was just going to ask you that. Have you sort of studied or?
I have studied, the sports psychology quite a bit. I've never actually been to a sports psychologist. I know a lot of other, people that have, but I've read a lot of books, and I think, like I said, it's something which people either can deal with or people can't.
So you've been able to train yourself, but with a bit of help from
with a bit of help, and being in them situations learns you the best, because if you make a glaring mistake, it's a crucial part of a big match. You have to take it on the chin and go away and learn from it, and just think, well, if I'm in that situation again, I'm not going to make the same mistake.
Yeah, I guess you're always learning, though, aren't you?
Always learning. Yeah.
We'll see if I can double this. It'll be a bit of a fluke if I can. Now I'm in trouble. This is where you get excited. Or maybe not.
I think so. So, deep breaths.
It was a pleasure.
Yeah.
Thanks very much.
No problem. Thank you.
For the second part of our interview with Gareth Potts, please visit homeleisuredirect.com.